I'm here with the Honorable David Piccini. You are the Minister of Labor, Immigration, Training, and Skills Development. Quite a mouthful, but so important to our community. First and foremost, I do have to ask you about your Italian background. You told a beautiful story about your family. Can you just let our viewers know a little bit more about you?
Absolutely. My dad's side, they came over from Codroipo, farmers in Friuli, worked in the steel factories here. Dad was first to go to university. Family live in the Hamilton region, moved out to Port Hope. Very proud of my history. My mom's side went the other way, and I grew up in Rome. So very proud of our culture, family history, and to be where I am today.
We were talking about family a bit off camera. I was mentioning my own immigration story, and something that's really important to Canadians that you've been working on is Bill 149. And you mentioned Canadian work experience. My dad, as an engineer, struggled with getting Canadian work experience. What is that looking like right now, and how is that going to change the lives of Canadians that are coming from other countries?
Yeah, excellent question. So two things that we're doing. One that we've done in Bill 149, we removed the Canadian work experience requirements, which was a 5-year requirement to have that job experience here in Canada. But what we're saying is we need engineers like your dad. We need doctors, people driving cabs. You know, how sick are you of getting in a cab and hearing that driver is a doctor? So we removed that Canadian work experience requirement, assessing it on competency. If you have the skills, we want you, regardless of where you got those skills. Secondly, and this is a bit of an exclusive for our future bill, but we're giving our Fairness Commissioner additional powers to work with regulatory bodies to ensure that they have a fair, equitable, and short process to get assessed for that competency. So it's all about removing barriers, getting people a result faster, and removing those hurdles to get them to practice their profession here in Canada.
And salary transparency as well is a big one on job postings. I'm curious, in the workplace, do you think that that's something that's important as well to kind of reduce the difference that happens between women or between minorities? Or is it something that maybe should still be kept one on?
Yeah, it's a great question. How many people are sick and tired of applying? It's almost like a second job to apply for that new job. You jump hurdles just to find out when you've gone through the interview process at the very end that it's less money than you earn today. So what we're saying is if you put the salary up front, empower people to know before they start the process. It's also a key piece to reducing the pay equity gap. You mentioned that, and so that's so important, that transparency. I mean, there's not one silver bullet, but this is an important part, and we continue to do a number of firsts under Premier Ford's leadership to break down these barriers to get people a better job with a bigger paycheck.
And Minister, when you were discussing the 2024 provincial budget, you mentioned that you weren't raising taxes because Canadians are struggling right now. I want to hear your reaction on the recent federal budget that was released.
I am concerned with some of the restrictive tax measures we're seeing that is acting as a massive barrier for investment. You look at massive investment in Ontario, so we want to see a low tax agenda that gets government out of people's way and encourages their full potential, and that's what we're focused on in Ontario.
Now, as an Italian, I'm sure you have some memories with TLN. We're celebrating 40 years this year. What is your favorite TLN memory?
So TLN, every Saturday morning I'm watching Serie A, Domenica Sportiva, you name it, C'è Posto per Te, I've watched online. So, I'm a big TLN fan. Last weekend, probably one of my best recent memories, Roma Udinese on TLN last Saturday, messaging a bunch of labor leaders. We had a little friendly bet. The game ended in a tie. But it's on my TV every weekend in my family.
I take it you're a Roma fan?
I'm Udinese, yes.
Oh, amazing.
Carmen from La 506, he's a big Roma fan.
Big rivalry then.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Rivalry. Yeah.
And now, my last question to you is, as a multicultural broadcaster, obviously that's our very belief system is serving our community. So I want to know, to you, what does the word multiculturalism mean?
Yeah, well, first off, big shout out to multicultural broadcasters. It's been a tough time in journalism. We have to support multicultural broadcasters above all. So I'm always, and I know many of my colleagues, keen to support those broadcasters. But it means embracing those traditions. I mean, you heard a lot of them today. We have a bit of an espresso culture. Those are my fond memories with my dad last night. You get those few precious moments. But it's a culture of food as well for me. I love to cook, and that's my mom, through my mom's side. So, passing down the traditions of family through the recipe, and I think there can be no greater expression of love than through food.